Welcome back. Now, as work continues on these beautiful granite stone steps, the challenge for me today in today's video is finding the correct stones to finish it off. Now, I've got a good mixture because, as you've previously seen in the other videos, I've removed quite a lot of stone out of this floor, so plenty to choose from. Some may need dressing by hand, which isn't all that easy but doable. So just that area there, I'm going to fill it up with some rocks and some mortar mix, get it going off, and then we're going to search for those stones. Don't think I've got too far to go. Got some there to choose from, but it's never that straightforward and simple. Now, I do have a cement mixer. Unfortunately, he's not here today. No, I do have a mixer, electric mixer, but the switch is broke on it, so yeah, electrics today just don't last. The switch on this never breaks, so I always have some manual tools as well. So what I'm trying to achieve here is basically filling it up roughly just below the level of the top of this stone. Now, what that will allow me to do is not have to find the stones for this area. It's all uneven, the ground underneath, so we're going to put in a dryish mix. I'm going to pack it out with some rocks. We're just going to loosely bed it down so that any other stones that I put on top, I've got a bit of sort of leeway with lowering it or packing it out. Just allows for extra flexibility. So I'll get some mix in the bottom there, and then we'll start filling it up with some of these. Probably only going to need a few rocks in this first bit, just to take up the excess. It tapers up towards the back, so I didn't want to dig too much out in this area at the back here, because this stone here is the pad stone for this upright beam which supports the ring beam, which supports the floor joists in this area. So this here is very important. So this is why I designed the stairs how I did here. Basically, it's reinforcing this pad stone, because as I'm digging away, let me explain quickly. When this cottage was built, the floor was at the highest level, high at the back, sloping to the front door. Now, all the walls were built in conjunction with the floor, so as I'm digging down, if I do it wrong, I will undermine all of the structure of the base of the wall, which I don't want to do. So my design is led by the cottage, my experience, and how to preserve it as well. So things are done for a reason, and this is one of the reasons why the stone steps went here, to reinforce this pad stone. As I dug away, as I said, it undermines the underneath of the stone, and you don't want to do that. My aim is to improve this, still traditionally, but to keep it standing for another 200-300 years. Now, the first stone is probably the most important because I need it faced on the front and on the top. The ones after that will just be the top face. Now, I do have a candidate. I found it over by the pond, but it's a lot thicker. So though, unless I cut it, it won't be suitable for the first step, but it may be okay for the back one. Don't forget, I've got a loose mix in there. I can dig down, place the stone into it, so that's a possibility. So I think I'll go and get that out. Gonna leave my sack barrow. It's been pouring down with rain. It's really wet over there. But now I've built a raised path, it's a little bit easier. So yeah, let's get over there. I'll show you what I mean. one there. Now it's very, very thick. I may even be able to kango it in half. Let's get it out first and have a look. Make sure there's no frogs about. Okay, before I jet this off, have a closer look at it. I'm going to split it to the size I want, because if it breaks, it's no good to me. I've jetted it for nothing. Now, by the looks of it, there might be another stone stuck to that. Might be in luck. Yeah, I am, I think. Yeah. Thought it was a bit deep for a stone. Yeah, there's a joint through there. That is another stone. Ah, it gets better. I haven't split it yet, so let's give that a go. Okay, I'm going to take a chance now, try and cut it across there. It's just this little section here that needs to come out. So across there and down the face, and we have got our first candidate. Now today is unbelievably humid. Lots of rain, but it's still 20 odd degrees. I know that's not that hot for most of you, but trust you me, I feel the heat. Okay, let's try that tape measure. Wow. Yep, I think we are in business, folks. Yep. Make that edge up. Not going to nibble any more out of there, because the chances are it may just crack somewhere else where there might be a fissure that I can't see. So okay. Okay, I've got it in. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, once I point the face of it up, yeah, that's good. Decent gap down there. And we've got a little gap here. Might be putting a little insert stone in there just to take up the excess, or it might look okay once filled. Okay, yep, I think that'll be okay. Don't forget there's going to be a wall here, the controversial wall. Yeah, trust me, I've got a design, and yep, I think at the end of it you'll agree that it works. And it will literally be something as simple as just bedding in something there, and another one there, so by the time you have your wall and everything there, it'll be in keeping. Perfect. So that's the first challenge completed. It's gone in rather well. Just going to let it set before I clean it up. So while that's drying, I'm now going to move on to my next area. Now it's outside. It's something I've been wanting to tackle for quite some time now. The weather has finally turned on my side. The sun's come out. It's dried out a little bit. We've had a lot of rain once again. And yeah, let me take you over there and explain a little more. Walk this way. So I've brought you outside to the area where we grow most of our fruit and vegetables, apart from the greenhouse. Now I haven't had much time out here this year, to be honest with you, but my son Tom, he's done a marvellous job out here with Sam as well, keeping it, you know, up to scratch, not letting it get too overgrown. But my mission in this area, I spoke about it before, is to create what we call a food forest. Now that's not an orchard with a few plants and vegetables planted below. It's a much more kind of, it's simple, but it's quite complex if you get it right. It really does work. And basically it's mimicking nature in a forest. I mean, if I was to leave this area and do nothing here, nature would claim it back. There'd be trees everywhere, everything would grow back and it would be like a forest. So what I plan to do in this area is let it go to a forest, but with my help we're going to plant some vegetables in there. There's 7 layers, 7 system layer that you have to kind of adhere to when you're doing a food forest. Google it because it's quite hard for me to explain in a few sentences. Although it is simple, the principles, there is lots to it, and it varies on your site, what you can grow, your environment, soil, things like that. But I've basically done a little bit of read up on it, not too much. I'm still learning, same as most of you might not have even heard of the principle. My ethos basically in a nutshell is I don't like or won't spray anything with chemicals, pesticides. I like working with nature, let it go a little bit wild. I mean, part of the fun of it is letting nature do its thing. Take my workload off, because at the moment I'm having to cut all through the trees and trim it, and I don't want to be doing that in this area. So what I'm going to do is create an environment where it kind of takes care of itself. We'll need a little bit of maintenance, but not too much. and let nature do the job, you know, with the insects eating the bad insects, if you call them bad insects, the stuff that eats your vegetables, you know, things like that, working in harmony. So that's what I'm going to start to do in this area. Still got lots to learn, still got, you know, lots of things to do. But yeah, if I walk you round and just show you what I'm working with to start with. Got a good framework here. Inadvertently I've been kind of planting a food forest even myself. So yeah, we've got lots of stuff already established here, lots of different heights, and yeah, if it works here I'm going to expand it out across my property. Got loads of different areas, you know. Basically what I want out of it is some decent quality food, create a natural environment, all the birds and insects, yeah, just make a nice environment. Also going to make it flood resistant, drought resistant, all those other things that are really important with today's climate. I'm going to bear that in mind when I do this. There's lots of techniques you can use, very simple ones actually. Swales, you know, I got into swales a few years ago, and yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, Google that as well. Ideal, you know, if you get a lot of rain, then you get no rain for ages. Yeah, okay, right, let's have a little walk round. Beautiful day. Yeah, it's lovely. It's nice to get outside as well. I love being in the cottage, but it is nice to get out in the sunshine and the fresh air. Let's have a little walk round, see what's been going on. Yeah, I haven't seen out here for a while neither. So if I start from the beginning, which is this rose arch, this brings in the pollinators. Equally important in a food forest garden system. Foxgloves natural, apple trees, this is like a dwarf variety. This is a very old variety that's been here for quite some time. Okay, so this is the start of the way into the food forest. Now to the left we've got some evergreens, and at the moment we've got some raised beds. Okay, these may alter or get changed over the course of this project, but Tom's done a marvellous job. Planted up all these lovely greens, onions, peas, we've got all sorts in here. And then I have planted up plum, cherry, in a grid work really of maybe 9 to 12 plants. This area is going to be addressed very shortly. These are recent ones: peach, almond, another cherry, dwarf cherry. That's a natural cherry, I didn't plant that one. Tom started planting up the potatoes. We've got some other squashes in the ground there. More cherry and plum, and then that's the adjoining organic orchard out there. So we've got our berries here. So we've got a good framework for what we loosely term food forest. So what are some of the advantages of having a food forest? Well, for one, I can see it maximises the space that you've got. Now you're growing on several different levels: height, sort of waist level as well, in between, and then into the ground, root system, you know, tap roots and things like that, you know, parsnips, potatoes. So you're working on many different levels. Now with the tall trees, you can grow vines up there. You know, there's a huge variety of vines that you can grow. Yeah, and it's just a most efficient way of using the space that you've got. So I think the first thing to do is study the way that the sun falls across this plot. Now obviously when you're going to plant big trees, you need to plant them on the side where it's not going to cast a shadow over the whole garden. I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges, is getting the big trees in the right position. I don't think I'm going to plant many more big trees in this plot because they're surrounded by fruit trees. You know, we've got cherry there. Oak is also important, which we've got a big oak. We've got some willows. We've got some wild pear. So I think we've basically got our big tree framework set out. There's lots of other areas as well. It'll kind of pick up the surrounding area. I mean, this is great for bees, it's absolutely full of them, so the pollinators are here. As you can hear, the birds are here. A beautiful environment. Look at the cherries. Oh, they are lovely. Not quite ready yet. Oh look, the birdies have been eating them. Nearly ready. Don't mind letting the birds eat some. They was here before me. So the next consideration is pathways. Now what you don't want to be doing is compacting and treading on the soil areas that you wish to plant up. So I'm going to work out a system of pathways through it. Now at the moment I will probably make some grass pathways through the centre where I'm going to plant up, and later on maybe I'll mulch that over so I don't have to go in there with my lawnmower. So if we look at it as a whole, all the way around the outside will be the biggest path, which I can do on my ride-on. There'll be some smaller paths in between, which I'll do with my push-long mower, and in between those will be dispersed with, that's the other thing I didn't mention yet, herbs. Very important as well. We're going to grow lots of herbs here, mints, lavenders, sage. We're going to take cuttings from all around what we've got, so we haven't got to buy too much. Now someone did make a very kind donation to me, which I'm going to go out and do some shopping, get some plants, so that was much appreciated. Now if you want to contribute to the channel and help me grow this project, you can do so by buying me a coffee, Patreon, or purchase something out of the shops. So yeah, it's all, you know, really well received and put to good use. Planted this peach up earlier on in the year. Now I don't normally have much success with peach. I don't know whether it's the variety that I'm choosing. I went for a beautiful peach, can't read it yet. Won't attempt to, it's in French. But it's got a red flesh. Now we've had these before and they are delicious. So I'm pleased that that's doing well. Now the other one that surprised me was the almond. Never grown an almond tree. But wow, look at that. Doing really well. Fantastic. Now the cherry trees, like I mentioned, are dwarf, so they won't get no higher than really 4 metres. So we haven't got too high a canopy here. Got a few plum trees. Keep them in check, that'll be fine. But looking round, the ground gets quite good sunlight. You know, you're aiming for at least 6 hours, we get miles more than that. So we're okay there. Now this area, yeah, I've got to tidy it up. But basically underneath there is a lot of soil, turfs that we've cut up, turned upside down, so it's quite raised here. Now I may make another raised bed here out of some timber, or some limbs basically off some trees, so I might do that as well. Now around the perimeter we've got lots of berries, red currants all around here. This is sloe for your sloe gin, sloes. And this vegetable kind of forest garden sits right next to the dell, which is the sunken garden. Now that has gone absolutely bonkers lately, not been down there for quite some time. But it's got a peach tree in it. Oh, well, it's got some peaches on it, so that's done well this year. Maybe it's the year for the peach. Here we've got lots of golden raspberries. So I basically have already got a mini food forest in different areas, mixing up fruit, foxgloves, that's a lilac, yeah, nettles, they're also important. So as you can see, I've got quite a good structure really from, you know, what I intend to do with it. Now it is on a slope. I may address that in different areas. Now put simply, a swale is, if you like, if the land goes that way, you cut down, you make a big level, and when the water comes down or the rain, it hits that and it doesn't run off. It sits there and then permeates through. That holds the water in an area, so you can direct the water into things that like it, fruit trees and things like that. So instead of all the water rushing off, you kind of hold it back. You have to allow it to still run out, but that's the basic principles of a swale, which I have used. Now just to my left here we've got the pond, which is also a very important aspect of having a wildlife garden. Now the pond takes all of the runoff from the roofs down into this area. So already I mentioned about creating a bog garden the other side. all of the natural rainwater comes into here. It then fills up, then overflows, and then runs down through the dell. All the willows take up the water, and it deals with excess water. Now, the pond is teeming with life. We've got, you know, everything you can imagine in there: newts, crested newts. The dragonflies lay their eggs on there, so we've got lots going on in there. No fish. I want to keep it natural. And I've got a secret pathway down into the dell, but at the moment it's not passable. Beautiful beetroots coming along. Tom's done a marvellous job with them. We've got some carrots. Yeah. Have a quick look inside the greenhouse. Wow, it's all doing pretty good. Got some strawberries there. I've never had any success growing strawberries, but Tom certainly has. Wow, look at them. Beautiful. Tomatoes are doing good. Yeah, there's all sorts in here. Lots of herbs. Yeah. Lovely. So if you are new to the channel, first of all, hello and welcome. But basically we've got a farmhouse, several buildings, one of which I'm renovating, the cottage. We've got an acre, but it sits in hectares of organic orchards. So there's no pesticides or any nasties sprayed around us. There's so much wildlife, insects, birds, everything here, so we kind of work in harmony with that. So yeah, we find it works. Sometimes, some years, certain insects devour certain things, but you have to kind of readdress that with nature, I think. Not just spray it, because that kills off something and then that affects the food chain. So yeah, we don't do none of that. Not on this channel. So if I'll give you a little panoramic view, that's the oak A-frame barn we've converted into a bar inside. That's where the kitties play. That's where the food orchard is. Our houses are behind the tree lines here. This is where the willow structure is, so we're going to have a look at that. I planted up. Weren't sure whether it was going to take. Just literally cut some willow, put it into the ground, and hey presto, look at that. Well, I can officially say it's growing. We took those panels off. We're not going to have them on here, we're going to use them somewhere else. I've got a little bit of maintenance to do on this, but we just wanted to get it established, which it is. That is going to be a lovely cool area to sit in the blazing sun. Okay, we're going to take some of this into the food forest area as well. And I always get this mixed up. Is it borage? There is another one. Yeah, I do get my words mixed up occasionally. So basically how I like to design the garden is lots of different pathways leading off. We've got a pathway through here. And this is our private seating area in front of our farmhouse. Wow, look at the honeysuckle. Yeah, a little bit of maintenance needed here, so I'm trimming back, but we just like sitting under here, having our breakfast, our lunch here, and have an evening. That smells delightful. Oh yeah, I can still smell it now. Beautiful. Now, it has been a great year for foxgloves. I think they flower, is it every 2 years? I'm not quite sure. So yeah, they've done really well. Any ground that we've disturbed, they've popped up. So we've got another walkway through there that takes us down to where we put the cats. And another doorway. We've got bay above us, which we use. Wow, is that fast growing? It is. That's an ancient old door that I took off of a previous French house that I lived in. Oh look, there's the tiles I'm looking for. No, there's only a few here. Well, it does seem, it is such a shame for them to be here, isn't it? I forgot all about this, to be honest with you. We found some edges, big time. Yeah, sometimes I forget what I've got, you know. Not a bad thing, because it's like Christmas when I find it. So yeah, I've got a few there. Okay, whether or not I'll lift them up and put something else there, that is a possibility. Okay, so we are just at the entrance of the food forest. We've got another path that goes off that way, that links up with the other pathway. Now what I also plan to do in this area is scatter some seeds about. Nature will tell me the best place for it to grow because it will grow. If it doesn't grow, then hey, it's just a few seeds. So we're going to try that as well. There's new research and evidence showing that, you know, that is a good way of planting. So I'm all for that. But I've got to do some digging. Yeah, I've got a rough idea how I'm going to do it. The design. Well, it looks good enough to eat, doesn't it? Well, these are quite long. So while I get set up with this, I'm going to go and get the kitties, put them out in the lovely sunshine, let them have a run round. Yeah. It's also equally as important as work is to sit down sometimes and just take it all in, realise what you're doing it for and enjoy it. So I'm going to take a few minutes, and while I sit down here I'd like to ask a favour from you. Would you mind watching another video straight away after this one, or sharing the video or the channel, or subscribe? It really does help build this channel, doesn't cost anything, but yeah, it really drives us along in the right direction. Sometimes, you know, you need a helping hand. We're kind of at that stage where we need the next push to the next level. If I can generate more views, that generates more revenue for me, and I can plough it back into the project, and we speed things up a lot quicker. Not that it's a race, but as you can understand, projects need funding, so if you can do that for me, that'll be a big tick in the box for me. So I'm going to have a cup of tea. Sam will be out in a moment. I'm going to take a few minutes and watch the cats. Sounds like Sam with the coffees. Oh dear.
Hello dear.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, a lovely day to have our coffee in the garden.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just talking to everyone about the food forest idea we got.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's been hard to get out here and get stuck into it, isn't it, because of the weather?
Yeah, but it's nice to have a bit of sun today. I think it's going to rain later though.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. The ground is so wet over there, I just tried to have a little dig, but it's a little bit too wet, so I'm just going to do all the outline jobs that I need to do around there, mark the paths out, stuff like that. Maybe we'll go out and get some plants later.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got plenty we could probably split and move and put over there.
Definitely, yeah, but...
There's a few varieties that I'd like to get extra though, so...
Yeah, me too. I'd like some sweet potatoes.
Yeah, we can put some of them over there. Yeah, definitely. That's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe we'll pop to the garden centre later on then.
Yeah, okay, we'll sit down and drink. Watch the kitties for a little while.
Yeah, they're enjoying the sun too.
So if you're wondering what other video to watch and you're into your gardening, why not watch my cottage garden tour? So that is it from us. We'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.